One of the best ways to do that is to go to our website, which is denverkidsinc.org.
Okay.
And be able to...
Sorry, denverkidsinc,
inc.org.
Okay, got it.
And as a matter of fact, we actually have a fundraiser that's happening this month because, as you know, with the pandemic happening, we've had to really kind of pivot. How are we going to fundraise for our organization? And so we're actually doing a virtual event on the 24th of this month. And so that's probably how you've been connected when you saw that I was there, because I did a fundraiser page for Denver Kids. And so if anybody's interested in that, you're also welcome to go to Denver Kids Inc. And it's rallybound.org.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Weekly Av News. I am extremely excited today. I get to sit down and chat with Cyndi Negrete. Is that right? Okay, cool. Just make sure I said it right. But she works for Denver Kids, an amazing organization. I actually, I don't know if I told you this earlier. So one of my friends, about a year ago, told me that I should interview someone from Denver Kids and how great the organization is. And I remember writing it down, and I just, it's one of those things, like it's a task and I just never did it. So when I found out that you worked for them, I was like, well, perfect. We can basically get this thing going and actually get the episode in for you guys. With that said, I'll have her introduce herself a little bit more on a personal sense, and then also go into, I want you to kind of tell us, first of all, how you kind of landed into it and why, and then we'll kind of get into the specifics of the organization itself.
For me, I was really drawn to Denver Kids because I made a personal choice to move to Denver. And coming from Colorado Springs, I spent about 14 years working in domestic violence and sexual assault and stalking services, and really having that focus on youth and what that impact is for youth and children and their families. So being drawn to Denver Kids was really about that individual that is consistently with that student throughout their school career. So the cool thing about Denver Kids is actually almost 75 years old. And so there's been a lot of work that's been put in, and it's a very unique model, because what Denver Kids does is they partner a student really starting out from elementary all the way to post-secondary. Denver Kids is really in the business of meeting the needs and the goals of each student, and being able to really kind of set the program in a way that provides an opportunity for students to really be at their best potential. We don't necessarily feel that we are targeting students that are at risk, but more at potential. They have so much opportunity to be able to really be their best selves. And so some of the ways that we do that is, again, partnering with an educational counselor, being able to really connect around that social emotional learning, providing them enrichment opportunities, and even looking at post-secondary, like what are we going to do after high school. So one of the things that we're also really successful in is actually have an 82% graduation rate, which is really a higher comparison what it is for Denver Public Schools for the same population that we serve. And we really have the privilege also of being able to be that one adult that stays consistently with the student, and really being sure that any barriers that come into really making it to graduation, really being able to assess what actual supports do they need outside of just academic support.
All right, so tell me a little bit more of how it works. So you match up a student with an adult. And this is just one adult. Do they have like direct access to them? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have a really strong partnership with Denver Public Schools. We're one of their strongest partners. So what we do is we serve over 1,000 students within Denver Public Schools. And from that, we get nominations from teachers, or maybe we've had a sibling in a program and then the parents like, hey, I want little Billy to be in it too.
Right.
So then we work through that process to be able to really kind of bring in the family as well. So really the average time that we're with the student is about 7 years. So like I said, sometimes we'll get them in elementary school and they go all the way until graduation. So that relationship just carries on. And as a matter of fact, we even have students that have graduated, years and years ago, that are still reaching out to educational counselors like, hey, I kind of got into a little bit of a pickle here. What do I do with this? And so
they develop that bond.
Yeah,
right?
and that's all about relationships, absolutely. And really being able to showcase that for students about how do you really manage all the different types of relationships that you're going to have, and starting with the educational counselor, and then moving forward to you're going to have a boss one day. So how do we manage, when we have to be able to kind of agree to disagree.
Right.
So that's
managing
where that social
expectations and what the real world is.
That's where the social emotional learning comes in, right? So being self-aware and being aware that all of us have different walks of life, and when someone comes to you and has a different approach, and you're like, well, what's the deal here? Let's talk a little bit more about why that engagement is the way that it is. So And it's really, again, really important to be able to meet the student where they're at, because again, that's what's so unique about our programming is that it's not just one size fits all, you know, so we use different skill sets to be able to get a kiddo to really commit to that education. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That sounds amazing. So, all right. So in that sense, let's say, so I'm assuming that if I wanted to get involved, that basically I just reach out to the organization, or do they reach out to you directly, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're talking about being a mentor,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. We definitely, that's actually another great relationship that educational counselors then also are a support to the mentors, because educational counselors are really kind of focusing on the academic piece of it.
Right.
And for mentors, it's really like, hey, let's go kick it, let's go hang out,
Right.
let's go do
Just
something.
have a positive influence, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah, okay.
And sometimes those mentors are able to then get them into you know, other activities. Like for example, if a kiddo is really interested in finance per se, that, you know, maybe we match them with a mentor that has a little bit of background in that sense, so that way they can kind of explore some of those pieces as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's really cool. So as far as how to get into that, one of the best ways to do that is to go to our website, which is denverkidsinc.org.
Okay.
And be able to...
Sorry, Denver Kids Inc.
Inc.org.
Okay, got it.
And as a matter of fact, we actually have a fundraiser that's happening this month, because as you know, with the pandemic happening, we've had to really kind of pivot. How are we going to fundraise for our organization? And so we're actually doing a virtual event on the 24th of this month. And so that's probably how you've been connected when you saw that I was there, because I did a fundraiser page for Denver Kids. And so if anybody's interested in that, you're also welcome to go to Denver Kids Inc. And it's rallybound.org.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So we'll have all those links for you guys in the copy, and as well as the video. So you guys can have access to that. So I do want to go back to that's how a mentor gets involved. How does a student get involved in the program to be able to have these opportunities? Yeah,
so again, like it goes back to, you know, we engage a lot with Denver Public Schools in regards to like what students they might see that would be a benefit, because it's an opt-in program. And really we are looking at students who, you know, a lot of our students come, actually the percentage I believe is about 59% of our student population are coming from single family homes, or single parent, or they are living with other relatives, foster care, all those pieces, and then also about 41% of what remains, immigrant and refugee families. So it's really important to note that our students, 98% of them are free and reduced lunch. We have 96% of our students that are students of color. So we recognize all the additional barriers that come alongside that as well. So we really do partner with teachers and other school officials to say, you know, kind of select those students, and again, opting in to see, are they interested in the commitment that comes with being a part of Denver Kids.
Perfect. Okay, great. And I love the way you said it earlier when you first started. So it's not necessarily at risk, right? It's, you know, who has the potential and just isn't getting that opportunity, right? Absolutely. So I love that. All right, perfect. So look, that gave me a lot of insight. And again, it's something that I had been, you know, one of my friends brought up to me, and I knew it was something I want to look into, but just didn't have all the details. And I think this was just a perfect opportunity when I saw that post on there. So with that said, so everybody's gonna have all of the links and everything for, you know, how to get involved. Outside of the event that you just spoke about, do you guys do like some sort of like yearly event? Is there something where you kind of like draw upon like a lot of the public to kind of join in?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, you know, the thing that's kind of a little bit different is that I onboarded Denver Kids in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah. So with that, there's been a lot of pivoting of like, okay, great. So we're not in schools because obviously schools were out. So our role has really shifted to be able to support students in remote learning. Okay. And really, again, like all the things are shifting as far as events. The virtual event is another big one. We had a gala that we usually do, or breakfast, excuse me, in May. And so because it was in the middle of a pandemic, that's when we moved to virtual. Right. So yeah, in the traditional sense, definitely we have events and we have opportunities for folks to be involved, to really either donate or to be a mentor, or, you know, to see what's another way that they can support the students that we serve. Perfect. Okay, great. And look, and I don't know about you guys, but obviously with this pandemic, it's obviously creating, you know, at least physical separation. I know the great thing is that technology is there to back us up, and you know, and we have that, right? So we can still do it virtually. But I mean, a big thing is, you know, you can take advantage of these opportunities right now to have that sense of community. I think that's a big part of, you know, even me personally, like getting through all this and having that sense of community with, you know, with my team, with my office, you know, coaching program, friends. You see us, you know, all the time, you know, with Josh and everybody, we're still hanging out.
but you know, you need that sense of community, right? So if that's something that interests you, we'll have all the information out there. Feel free to reach out to Cyndi directly. Is it okay if I kind of put some of your information on there so people can reach out?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, thank you guys. Again, I was really excited to bring this information to you. Such a great organization. Yeah, we'll see you next time on the next episode. Thanks, guys.